Welcome to Grampy's Lionel Trains. I'm going to show you how I transformed this $7 Lionel 6517 Bay Window Caboose by installing 3mm red LED marker lights, giving this old caboose a whole new look. This caboose came to me with missing ladders, damaged handrails, and surface rust. It was a perfect candidate to experiment with a simple LED upgrade. I'll show you a clean way to install the LEDs without permanently modifying the caboose. I'll first start by removing the screws so I can take the shell off the frame. Lionel used these clear plastic light tubes to carry the light from the incandescent light bulb out to the marker lights at each end of the caboose. It's a simple design that worked well for many years. To remove the window insert, gently bend the plastic light tubes inward and rest them against the inside of the window insert. This pulls the ends of the light tubes out of the holes in the caboose body, while allowing the window insert to be lifted out without damaging it. Using a standard flathead screwdriver, carefully spread the horseshoe retaining clip just enough to remove it. Once the clip is off, the truck will lift right off the frame. To remove the original incandescent light assembly, it's held in place by a spring-loaded retaining clip that simply snaps into the frame. Once it's released, the entire light assembly lifts right out. This doesn't appear to be the original wire, but even if it was, I'll still replace it. Whenever I do a restoration, I like starting with fresh wire, clean solder joints. This way, I know the electrical connections are reliable for years to come. Now it's time to give these trucks and frame a good soaking with some WD-40. We're going to let WD-40 do the hard work for us while we sit back and supervise. We'll let it soak for a while, then come back to see if we can finally convince this old surface rust that its days are numbered. I'll also give the wheels an extra shot of WD-40 because there's quite a bit of carbon buildup on them. I'd rather let WD-40 loosen it up first than make the buffing wheel do all the work later. Now it's time for the Grampy style bubble bath. Some lukewarm water, some Dawn dishwasher soap, and a very soft bristle brush is all that it takes to clean up this caboose. It really wasn't all that dirty, but around here every train gets a full spa treatment before it leaves the workshop. After all, you wouldn't put clean clothes on without taking a shower first, would you? Now that we've given WD-40 a chance to do its job, let's see if we can persuade some of that stubborn surface rust to finally let go. A little brushing goes a long way. And before we turn the buffing wheel loose on these wheels, take a look at all that carbon buildup. If I let the buffing wheel do all the work, he'd be asking for overtime, and Grampy doesn't want to pay overtime. Instead, I'll use a small screwdriver to scrape away heavy buildup first. That makes the buffing wheel's job a whole lot easier and helps give us a nice clean ground connection through the wheels. A few extra minutes here can save you a lot of electrical headaches later on. Now that we let WD-40 loosen up all that dirt and grime and surface rust, it's time to say goodbye. We'll wipe away any excess and get ready for the next step. After all, WD-40's done its job now, and it's time to let somebody else go to work. I spent a little time thinking about the cleanest way to wire these LED marker lights, and I think I came up with the best solution. Remember my favorite saying, give the hardest job to the laziest guy, and he'll find the easiest way to do it. I'm not just the member, but I'm also the CEO and president. So this is what I came up with. I'll be feeding a new red wire through the bottom of the original lamp socket. Then I'll twist it together with the new pickup wire and solder both wires to the lamp eyelid. That way, the lamp socket still powers the interior light while the same connection supplies new power to the LED marker lights. Everything stays neat, easy to service, and best of all, if you ever want to return this caboose back to original, all you have to do is remove the one red wire. I think it's about the simplest and cleanest way to get power to the new LED marker lights. I don't know, what do you think? Before feeding the wire through the lamp socket, I went ahead and preloaded the spring into the socket. On these Lionel lamp sockets, the spring always fits between the lamp eyelet and the socket. With that in place, I'll feed the new black wire through the bottom of the lamp socket. It will then be soldered to the pickup roller, supplying power to both the original lamp socket and the new LED marker light. For my easiest solution, I came up for the grounding wire. I made this little brass grounding plate. By bending the ends over, it simply slides between the lamp socket spring and the frame, where it's held tightly in place. Sorry I didn't film this part. My big fingers probably would have gotten in the way. Best of all, it's completely reversible. No drilling, no soldering to the frame. Just slide it in and let the spring do the work. When installing the LED marker lights, to make the installation easier, I like to pre-bend the LED leads 90 degrees before installing them. Then I'll feed each LED through the inside of the caboose's shell and out through the original marker light opening. Once they're in position, I'll twist two red wires together and the two black wires together with the quick connect leads. Then I'll solder the connections and finish everything off with heat shrink tubing for a clean, well-protected, factory-looking installation. For this project, I'm using 3mm pre-wired 12-volt red LEDs that I purchased from Amazon. These LEDs already have a built-in current limiting resistor, so there's no need to add another resistor for this installation. Before recommending them, I tested them on my conventional Lionel layout using a post-war ZW transformer. I even left at full voltage for several hours and they continued to operate normally without any problems during my testing. I do want to point out though, on my layout is conventional analog Lionel. I don't own a TMCC or legacy system, so I can't recommend this exact installation for those systems because I simply haven't tested it. If you are using a TMCC legacy or any other command control system, I encourage you to do your own research and use the method you're most comfortable with. I'm simply sharing what worked well for me on my layout. Every layout, transformer, and installation could be a little different. So always test any modification before making it permanent. I want to pass along what I've learned, but ultimately the decision on what works best for your railroad is definitely up to you. With everything wired up, it's time for the moment of truth. I'll connect the red and black leads to the LED bulb and see if all our hard work paid off. Well, the lights are on and I hope somebody's home. I'd say that's a pretty good start. Later in the video, I'll show you what this caboose looks like with both the original incandescent bulb and the LED bulb installed. Then you can decide which look you like best for your own railroad. To make sure you have a good electrical ground through the wheels, it's time to let the buffing wheel show off its expertise. Now, Mr. Screwdriver and Mr. WD-40 got us started by removing most of the heavy carbon buildup. But now the buffing wheel can go home early because those two did all the hard work. We'll just polish the wheels back to a nice shiny finish. After all, good electrical ground is what keeps the lights on and the trains rolling. And don't forget about the pickup roller. After all, we have to stay positive if you want a good, clean electrical connection. Now it's time for one of my favorite products, Bow Shield T9. Now, Mr. WD-40 did a good job loosening up the dirt, grime, and surface for us, but even he has his limits. The truck's cleaned up pretty nicely, but the frame still has a few deep rust pits that even Mr. WD-40 had to wave the white flag on. Sure, I could spend hours sanding it down and rebluing it, but for a $7 caboose, I just don't think that's the best use of my time. So instead, I'll let Bow Shield T9 seal the surface and help protect it from future rust. Then I'll set everything out in the sun for a while to let it cure before wiping away any excess. Sometimes you gotta know when to stop is just as important as knowing when to keep going. Before putting everything back together and before I forget, put a few drops of oil where the wheels ride on the axles. Then give each wheel a spin to work the oil in, and be sure to wipe off any excess. And make sure you don't forget about the pickup roller. He likes a little attention too. Just one drop of oil is all it takes to keep everything rolling nice and smooth. Now it's time to reinstall the window insert. As I slide it back into the shell, I'll carefully guide the lamp socket and grounding wire between the light tubes so nothing gets pinched or damaged. By reinstalling the window insert in the reverse position, the entire modification remains completely reversible if you ever decide to return the caboose to its original configuration. Next, I'll slide the bent end of the brass grounding plate into the opening where the lamp socket fits, making sure it's making a good contact with the frame. Then simply reinstall the spring-loaded lamp socket. As the lamp socket fits into place, it clamps the brass grounding plate securely against the frame, giving us a solid, dependable ground connection without drilling or soldering to the frame. Now it's time to solder the pickup wire to the truck. Once that's finished, I'll place the truck stud back into the frame and then using a pair of pliers, snap the horseshoe retaining clip back into place, locking everything together. Once the clip is seated, this truck isn't going anywhere unless it's rolling down the track. Now it's time to put the shell back on the frame. First, reinstall the plastic end platforms on each end of the frame, and then carefully lower the shell back into place, making sure nothing gets pinched along the way. And then finally, reinstall the mounting screw and snug everything down. Flipping the caboose over, you can see the brass grounding plate is tucked away nicely and really doesn't look out of place. It gives us a solid ground while keeping the modification clean and completely reversible. Now it's time to compare the lighting. First, here's the original Lionel 6517 Bay Window Caboose with its factory incandescent bulb with the original white marker light. Next, here's the caboose with the 3mm red LED marker light while still using the original incandescent bulb. I really like the added realism the red marker light gives. And finally, here's the caboose with both the red LED marker lights and a cool white LED interior bulb. If you notice, the LED does a great job lighting up the bay window, but doesn't spread the light throughout the caboose the way the original incandescent bulb does. Down the road, I might experiment with a little light diffusion on the windows to see if I can give both the incandescent bulb and the LED bulb a slightly different appearance. That might be another project down the road. The nice thing about this modification is nothing was permanently altered. Since everything is completely reversible, I can always return this caboose to its original factory configuration if I ever decide to. Now I'd like to hear from you. If this was your caboose, which lighting setup would you choose? Would you leave it completely original, keep the incandescent bulb and add a red LED marker light, or go with the full LED conversion? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I always enjoy reading your ideas, and many of them have inspired future projects here on Grampys Lionel Trains. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If so, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you won't miss another upcoming video here on Grampys Lionel Trains. Happy railroading!